There was a period of about 3 months where the striking workers were completely banned. No pickets in Tuscaloosa County. And yet the free speech lovers said absolutely nothing.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
A decertification petition has been filed with the National Labor Relations Board seeking to get rid of the union at Warrior Met Coal, seeking to get rid of the United Mine Workers of America at Warrior Met. Kim Kelly has the full story at tvlr.fm, so you'll want to make sure that you check that out. But just to lay out the process for you of decertification, and then we'll get into a little bit about the specifics of this story, but the process of decertification is largely going to be the same as the process of certification, meaning that if you're in a union workplace and there is an interest in decertification, then you have to file an election petition showing with at least 30% support, meaning that at least 30% of the bargaining unit has signed on to the petition requesting the election. That's called a showing of interest. And then if that showing of interest is met, there will be a decertification election where you will vote yes or no. We want to be a part of the United Mine Workers of America. 50% plus one to oust the union. And so that's how that would happen. And it's important to note, especially in a decertification election, it's important to note in a union certification election as well, because company unions are bad, but it's particularly even more relevant when we're talking about decertifications. And what I'm talking about is that company collusion is illegal. It is illegal for management to be behind, to be actively supportive of a decertification attempt. Because it's also illegal for management to be actively supportive of a union election as well. Because under the National Labor Relations Act, the formation or dissolution of a union is to be the sole domain of the workers. The workers are the ones who are supposed to have the choice whether to be or not to be in a union. It's not, it is, I think wrongly, the National Labor Relations Board under McKay has decided that that it is okay for employers to share their feelings about unionization and hold these captive audience meetings and try to indoctrinate their employees into anti-unionism, indoctrinate their employees into union bigotry. But so that's legal, but it is not legal for an employer to go around saying that you should vote, that you should have a union here. You should put forward this union campaign to donate it fiscally or anything like that. And I say that's important to note because obviously an employer is going to be in favor of a decertification, right? And so there's every incentive for them to be involved actively in a decertification campaign. That's just generally, but not only generally, we've actually been made aware of allegations that the person who filed the decertification petition, that person almost certainly being a scab, a replacement worker, somebody who scabbed on their brothers and sisters in Brookwood who took their jobs during the strike. That decertification petition was allegedly filed by an employee that was escorted by a supervisor to the filing office, which I think that alone, if that proves to be the case, the decertification petition is going to be thrown out. The UMWA has told Kim Kelly that they intend to contest this this decertification petition on among other things grounds that that management is behind it and that's illegal. And so they are, so I think that's actually probably likely that the decertification petition gets thrown out. But it is just a, you know, it's really gross, especially after, you know, this long strike and after the UMWA has sent an unconditional offer to return to work. I mean, the UMWA has basically said, look, okay, the strike hasn't worked. Our members need to get back to work. We want to get back to some sense of normalcy. And so we're going to, you know, basically, you know, not be fighting as hard. And the just grossness of Warrior Met to not be willing to take yes for an answer, and to still continue to try to bust up this union that has been in Walker County for over Walker County and Tuscaloosa County for over a century, right? The UMWA has been in Alabama for far longer than Warrior Met has even existed. Far longer than Warrior Met has even existed. And yet Warrior Met is trying to, you know, I mean, trying to attack our people. Trying to take away their voice, their organization, and their ability to collectively come together for the purpose of bargaining wages and benefits and working conditions.
And it's obvious that they still consider them a threat too, even though they have put this fight on hold or have decided to bargain directly. I mean, or cease bargaining for now, but yeah, they're still going to try, and that wasn't even enough for them. So you can tell where it's leading. Like there's no union too small or like too powerless for them. For in their heads, they're just gonna crush it with all they can.
Yeah, it's just gross. And of course, you know, we have so far been, as far as I can tell, the only outlet to report on this, and that's not. But you know, that's not terribly surprising. But even less surprising is that no politicians have come forward to denounce this effort to try to bust the union. And it's not surprising because over the course of the strike, not a single Republican has condemned Warrior Met Coal. Not a single Republican has actively supported these striking workers. And so, of course, after they end the strike, they're not going to try to push for fairness from Warrior Met towards their constituents. You know, because they don't care about their constituents. Yeah,
I haven't heard any of the Congress talk about the Dollar General employees or any of the baristas that were like anybody really. I don't hear them talk about workers very often at all. Really.
No. Kim mentions in the article that the union has poured millions of dollars into the strike, $38 million as of March the 1st. But throughout the course of the strike, the company has used every possible means to break it, from acquiring court injunctions that severely limited workers' ability to picket, including at one point, remember, you know, the same people who supposedly love coal miners but didn't do anything to support the strike, the same people ostensibly supposedly love free speech now. And yet there was no condemnation from these people when there was a court injunction to ban picketing at Warrior Met Coal. I'm not talking about, oh, you can only have a dozen or 6 or 7 or 8 people. I'm talking there was a period of about 3 months where the striking workers were completely banned. There were to be no pickets in Tuscaloosa County. And yet, you know, the free speech lovers said absolutely nothing. They smeared the workers in the local press. They turned a blind eye to their employees committing vehicular assault on strikers and their spouses. I mean, just everything that they could possibly do. And the union has fought back, but skyrocketing coal prices really hurt their ability to inflict meaningful economic damage on the company. And we've talked about that as well, how this mines metallurgical coal, and the prices of coal and steel, which metallurgical coal is used in the production of steel, the prices of steel have absolutely skyrocketed, which has allowed the company to, despite having a decreased production, still bring in profits. And so, you know, that was a big reason that the strike was not able to inflict a whole lot of economic damage, and ultimately not able to ensure that the company comes to the table and give them a fair contract before ending the strike.
I think also the size of these companies, where they have branches, they have a multitude of other businesses, the monopoly that they can control, they can bring all that to bear on our communities. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not only are they now trying to decertify the union, they are slow walking the return to work. It's been over a month now that the UMWA sent an unconditional return to work offer, but currently only 273 UMWA members have returned to work. They've slowed down the return process, and they've only been scheduling a handful of physicals per week. It's just, you know, so the company slow walking the return undoubtedly contributed to the miners' frustration. And one UMWA staffer believes that Warrior Met is actually intentionally trying to stir up discontent and animosity towards the union, in part through this slow walking the return. So just a really, really gross display from Warrior Met and the Scabs down in Brookwood, Alabama. Pittsburgh Dude 87 says, I wonder if the Scab got paid 30 pieces of silver. And honestly, I'm not, you know, I don't doubt it. I would not doubt that at all.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.